Hello, world. Welcome to episode, what are we at? 145, 146 of the Jimmy
I'm
Canz
gonna say,
show, somewhere in there.
yeah, I'm gonna say
Uh,
146.
yeah, somewhere in there. It is prediction time. Crown Jewel this Saturday from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh at the Mohammed Abdu Stage Arena. Um, it will be a 1 o'clock Eastern uh, start time for those of us here in the States. If you're out in the West Coast, that's 10 a.m. Get up early. Um, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, Rod. I'm not watching this one live because
Yeah,
there's college football on Saturday.
yeah. Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. I got a game on Saturday, so I won't be able to see it live myself either, man.
but but that won't stop us from making our picks.
No.
So let's get into it. I got my baby back. So we'll kick it off here with the Fatal Five Way for the Women's World Championship. Mommy Rhea Ripley will be defending against Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Zoe Stark. Odds are not in her favor. She doesn't have to be pinned or submitted to lose her title. Will this finally be the night that Mommy loses the title? No. I still go with Rhea.
Yeah, this match has potential to be like extreme one way or the other. Like it could be a slobber knocker. It could
Mm-hmm.
be a slobber knocker of a 5-star match.
I agree.
Or it could get we can get some people in there getting gassed and blowed up. And
Well, I don't know. I mean, usually when you got five people, stuff like
yep,
that, like
yep.
you, they don't get gassed because you know what I mean.
You can
Somebody
work
gets
and
knocked
rest.
down and just
Yeah.
lays there for a while, like you know what I mean. And they get
hmm
so.
I'm hoping it's the former, right? I'm hoping
Mm-hmm,
that it's the knockdown drag out that it looks like on paper. So,
mm-hmm.
but I got Rhea. I'm sorry, and my pick is
All right. So we are in agreement on this one. Mommy retains.
yeah, yeah.
Next up will be for the United States Championship. Rey Mysterio champion. Likely will have the LWO out there with him. Will be defending that title against the social media megastar, a controversial figure, a polarizing figure, Mr. Logan Paul.
hmm
Which way are you going, Rod?
I got Logan Paul. He takes the belt, and Selena leaves with him.
Ah, you're saying Zelina
Yes,
turn.
yes.
All right. I too am taking Logan Paul. I do think there will be dissension,
Shenanigans. Yeah,
some
yeah.
dissension within the LWO. I'm not sure if it will be Santos
hmm
that finally is kind of like, hey, I keep, I'm tired of taking a back seat, or I didn't have him in the graphic, but he is technically an LW. Will it be Carlito reverting back to his mischievous
mm
ways,
Hey, that would
spitting in
be
the
the
face
hottest.
of people who don't want to be cool?
And then just throw Zelina in there to top it off. Just get her out of that mess that she's in there. That's a sinking ship there. Get her out of there.
I don't know. I mean, hey, being in the NWO got her a title opportunity at Backlash in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's time to monkey branch now, though. Swing higher. Let's go.
All right, man. Next up will be just, I guess, grudge match. The American Nightmare Cody Rhodes taking on Senior Money in the Bank, the Punisher of the Judgment Day, one half of the undisputed tag team champions, Damian Priest. Likely will at least bare minimum have Finn out there with him, likely almost all the Judgment Day. But all that being said, I'm still gonna go with Cody.
Yeah, it's I think it's Cody. I think Cody getting the win here missed more opportunity for there to be confusion in the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
and he sneaks out of there with the win. But that's not the overarching story, right? Like
Yeah.
it's bigger than that. So
All right. Next up, that was a quick one. The WWE Women's Championship match champion Io Sky representing Damage Control have Bailey and Dakota out there with her, taking on the returning EST Bianca Belair. Which way are you going, Rod?
I think if we're gonna build for a big match at WrestleMania, it has to start now.
Okay.
I think you get the
Meaning,
belt, meaning you get the belt back to Bianca and
ah,
get her rolling and let her let's have a lot of momentum going into WrestleMania next year.
okay. Um, I'm going with the numbers game here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna go with EO to retain just due to damage control shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting. This match made me realize we got a lot of factions here that who got like true colors can show in
Mm-hmm.
some key moments
Yeah,
this weekend. I'm looking at it. It's interesting. Very interesting.
yeah. So next up, the greatest of all time has a singles match for the first time since WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
John Cena. And yes, I actually even see him in the graphic.
You should have left him out. That would have been the best thing. That would have been amazing.
Taking on the enforcer of the bloodline, Mr. Solo Sokoa, who will have the wise man undoubtedly in his corner, Mr. Paul Heyman. Um, you know, he has not had a singles win, and I can't remember when. And this is, I mean, in terms of, just overall story and canon, these Saudi shows have, kind of come around, but ultimately I think they still kind of bow to what the Saudi royal family wants because of the money that they shelled out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's going to mean a John Cena win.
Okay. I think he just puts people over now.
That's his job. But I
Yeah, I
mean,
think he come.
are you really, is it really meaningful if that's all he's doing anymore?
And no, it's not. And I think that's all he's doing anymore. So,
I mean, every once in a while, you need to get that singles win so that when
hmm
somebody does beat him, it means if you just keep losing
hmm
all the time, it's like, well, he's past his prime.
I don't think he's reached that point yet where he needs a big win yet. I think he's still got John Cena steam. You know, it's still some John Cena steam on it. I think this win for
Are you sure
Solo
about
is,
that? Like, he hasn't had a singles win since like 2018.
yeah. That's what I mean. It's look, we're getting close. We're getting close to where he's going to need one. I don't think he needs one yet. But we're getting close. But I think
I mean, I think
Solo,
the last time he had a singles win, Roman wasn't champion.
yeah, that was in the '70s. But but I think for Solo's future, I think it's more important looking forward for him to have this win because I was going to start my explanation with let's say we can't get The Rock for Mania next year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we do a slow burn here and legitimize and make this guy here even more, I mean, I know he's legitimate now, but I think you can't picture I can't picture Solo as a world champion right now because he just doesn't have the resume.
Yeah, I mean, if they can't get The Rock for Mania, I think it's Cody again.
Ugh. Me personally, I feel like Solo.
Yeah.
No, not saying that's what they'll do. I'm saying I would prefer
Uh-huh.
Solo. It's like after I saw Wilder Fury 1, I didn't want to see it again. I didn't want to see it a third time. Pacquiao Marquez, they fought 4 times. I didn't need to see that 4 times, although they were good.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll be honest. I think, like I said, I'm going with Cena here, but I think it's like Solo looks strong in this. I think he's going to take Cena to his limits, and like Cena's almost what can I compare it? Almost like that first Taker Triple H Mania.
Okay,
Not
I
well,
got it.
I get technically not the first, but the first of the double header kind of thing
Mhm.
where Taker wins that match, but is, carried from the ring afterwards.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think it'll
I
be
mean,
along those lines.
it has to be like that, right? Because Solo, like I say, there's stuff we can do with that guy.
Hmm.
This, and I think the only thing that's kind of missing off him now is like it doesn't have that lust. Like I could see him still losing. I could see him losing to Cena off inexperience. You
Hmm.
know what I mean, or something like that. But there's a lot we could do with it. I think a Cena win, it can go either way. But I'm going Solo.
Yeah, like I said, I think, he's going to take Cena to his absolute limits. Cena
Hmm.
is going to get it by the skin of his teeth, so you know, it's an
Does he
L
kick
in
out
the
of the spike?
column, but it's an L in the column for Solo, but it's a W for his career.
So does Cena kick out of the spike? Side bet. Side bet.
Yes.
Oh, I hope not. I hope not.
He either kicks out of the spike or gets a foot on the rope or something.
Roll out of the ring, get spiked in like out of the ring, and Soto
Well,
goes to
not
fall
roll
on him.
out of the no, but the 1, 2 foot on the
Yeah,
rope.
yeah, yeah. Or he spikes him and loses him to on the edge of the ring. He spikes him,
Yeah.
goes to cover Cena out of the ring, and I had it, but
Mm-hmm. Like I
because
said,
you got to keep that.
he's definitely gonna come out of this looking strong, but I'm still going Cena.
All right, hey, man, I enjoyed the discussion. All right,
Next up for the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth frickin' Rollins taking on the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. New attitude, Drew McIntyre. Who you going with,
new.
Rod?
Let's call him New McIntyre.
New McIntyre,
But there's always a but.
yeah.
Seth Rollins, baby.
Going with Seth, huh?
Yeah.
I love me some Seth. I think
Mm-hmm.
he's doing great work right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's carried this title since, it was introduced,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but I think it's you've got to build a lineage with the belt sooner or later. It needs to go to somebody else, and I think this is a good opportunity. I'm going with Drew. I think it can help build a story here, moving into Survivor Series, and then Rumble
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So, I mean, Seth could get it back before Mania and everything, but with what they're doing with Drew right now in terms of his character, basically being like, "Listen, I'm done being Mr. Nice Guy." More, like he's not a heel per se, but it's just like I'm not going to keep bailing people out. I'm looking out for number one.
Come on to the dark side, Drew. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's very early Stone Cold once he wasn't a complete heel anymore and everything. It was like the early babyface Stone Cold, what was basically like, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna flip you off and stun you. I don't care if you're The Rock. I don't care if you're Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you're Vince McMahon. I don't care who you are. I'm looking out for me, and
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of along those lines.
He needs that. And Drew need what I'm saying is Drew needs that. Cause
Mhm.
like go full heel.
Yeah.
How
Well,
difficult how
yeah.
difficult would it be to be a full heel Drew McIntyre though?
I
Like
mean, it
a
doesn't.
dangerous.
Like I said, because Austin wasn't really a heel then, but he was just like, he's like, I'm not. If if I'm considered a baby face and Rock's considered a baby face, and you know the DX is kicking the crap out of the Rock, I'm not gonna come out and save him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit later in Austin's babyface run, he turned into I'm gonna come out and save guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think Drew's more in that, I'm just out for myself phase,
Yeah.
but
I like it.
he's not a full on heel.
The only way at this point, the only thing that's missing from Drew was that edge because he has everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's why I say go full on heel. Look what it
Yeah.
did for Roman. Roman was always a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He went full on heel and now,
Yep.
you know. So
Speaking of which, last but not least, for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, Bloodline out there with him, Wise Man out there with him, taking on the megastar. Say it with me now. L.A. Knight. Yeah. Um, all that being said, Roman wins.
How popular is LA Knight in Saudi Arabia? You
Um,
know?
I don't know, but like I said, I just this title reign being built up as long as it has been is, close to eclipsing Hogan's run, moving him into third overall for the longest reign. Um, and I don't see a reign of that caliber coming to an end any place but a WrestleMania.
Gotcha. Well, as everyone can kind of tell by my hesitation and discussion, I am going with Roman also. Hey, there's a little swerve when I drive. A little swerve, little
uh,
swerve, little swerve. Yeah, but yeah, there's no way. It's
yeah.
going. Hey, we've seen this before too. It's not even quite. It's not even on the level of what I'm about to use as an example. But we've seen someone have momentum like Daniel Bryan and not just be given the nod. And he's not. I'm sorry. I know he's popular, but he's not on the yes movement level of like
Mm-hmm.
momentum. You know what I
Well,
mean?
if you, yeah, and even with Daniel Bryan and stuff like that, like his first real big, the first time he won the WWE title, it was one of those, you know, three 3 minute reigns or 2 minute reigns or whatever because he got
Yeah.
cashed in on.
Yep. So does Damian Priest do that?
I mean, on who? On Roman or on for the Universal or for the world?
Yeah. Oh, he has to pick one. He can't have both.
No. No, what I'm getting, you got
Oh, I
Seth,
got
you
you.
got
Sorry,
Seth's
sorry.
world title, and you
Yeah,
got
yeah. I was saying, is that a possibility at Crown Jewel?
I don't know, but he's gonna be there. He's facing Cody, so it's always a possibility.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
and but like I said, if it's who does he do it to? Does he do it to whoever it is in the Seth Drew match, or does he do it here?
Yeah, that would be a good way to insert himself into that Drew Seth story.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got a triple threat there, and it makes it a little bit more unique from Roman's story, which is always more one on one. Where
Mm-hmm.
he hasn't been in too many three person situations.
His last triple threat was Mania. What was that? 2 years ago when
Who
it
was
was
it?
Daniel Bryan. No, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? With It was 3 years ago with Daniel Bryan and Edge.
Yeah, he stacked them on top of each other.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man, we've been blessed to be alive during his reign.
It's been a good. It's been an entertaining one, but
I, I I give him credit too, man, because as you'll have my back and attest, I always was a Roman guy,
yeah, I know.
even back when it wasn't.
Wasn't
I
a
was
popular thing to be.
yeah, I was a Roman guy was still underground.
Yeah. So our differences for this one, you got Bianca, I got Io, you got Solo, I got Cena, and you got Seth, and I got Drew. So we got three differences, and none of us went different in the 5-way. So none of us can be wrong on that. Or we can be wrong, but it's not going to change anything because we picked the same person. So,
Mhm,
but three
mhm.
differences here, very strong likelihood that there's you know gonna be either you know
So okay, so how do we count it?
interesting watch.
How do we count it? So let's say in the Seth and Drew match, there is a cash in.
Well, it depends if does it cash in and change the type of match, or does the he cash in after the match? You know what I mean? If
During the match, because
during
after the
what
match,
any
after
kind
that,
of cash in, yeah, cash in during the match, then we're kind of screwed. You know?
right? Because after the match, we would already have a winner, but then the cash in would be something extra.
Yes.
But during the match
Mm-hmm.
is where we got an opportunity to come out with a draw steal. I was looking for how we can have a draw steal. There it is.
Yeah, we could have a draw. You know that there, and then but I don't see it happening. I'll be honest. I think I just don't see it happening.
What if the only way I can see is maybe if Drew does takes the fall, he gets curb stomped or something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, cash in, knock out Seth,
Mm-hmm.
do your move on Drew.
Yeah. So there you have it. There we are for Crown Jewel. A little later in November, it is Survivor Series War Games. We'll see how that card shapes up. We'll have our predictions for that one for you as well. I think we're going to get a little bit of brand warfare going again now that each show has a GM.
Okay.
So that should be an interesting watch. Now, whether or not the War Games match is a Raw versus SmackDown, or they just have some type of a Survivor Series traditional elimination match that goes brand on brand. I don't know. Let's wait and see how they shape this card. But always like
Gotcha.
me some Survivor Series.
Man, that's that. Those are kind of fun, right? Survivor
Mm-hmm.
Series, Royal Rumble. The stipulation elements really add to them.
Well, what I always liked back in the day with Survivor Series was it was a way to extend a feud or introduce a new feud without giving us, the standard match type. It wasn't this, singles matches or
Mm-hmm.
just a normal straight up tag matches. Like all of a sudden could be like, oh, well, now there's beef between so and so and so and so because of that,
Mm-hmm.
Survivor Series match. So
Yeah,
it was a way to introduce some of those feud, or if there was a long-standing feud going on, it was a way to kind of, you know, add a little more fuel to the fire of the feud without it being just another singles match, which we get a lot now. You know what I mean? It's
and I
like,
like
okay, this is like the 900th time these guys have faced each other.
they would. I mean, they even did such a good job back in the days. They would tie in separate stories, but kind of have them have bumps and run-ins, so that by the time you get to Survivor Series, it makes sense that like even though the Killer Bees are teaming up with whoever because whoever the singles wrestler was teaming up with him, he had beef with the guy who kind of had a run-in with the Killer
Mm-hmm.
Bee. And you know what I mean? It all was like, and they would like, and they would sometimes they would just have random like pairings.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I do my retrospect because Survivor Series was always one of those cards from the get go. The card subject to change asterisk always seems to apply to Survivor Series. Because the announced teams would always change in some
Hmm.
shape or form. Um, Always, like whether it was a legit injury, whether it was somebody getting suspended for or fired for
Yeah.
shenanigans and stuff like that. But seriously, like it would be like, oh, or somebody just quitting and everything. So like those teams always got moved around. Like I said from the get go, like the very first Survivor Series, the like the announced Hogan team was supposed to have superstar Billy Graham on it, and like his hip blew up, basically,
Yeah, I
and it's like,
remember.
and it's like, okay, he can't wrestle anymore, and then Don Morocco got inserted into the spot, but I'm just saying, like, from the get go, it was like, okay, card subject to change, and
We
there was
told.
the one year, like it was so bad, like with injuries and stuff like that, like there was George South or like a journeyman enhancement talent ended up getting inserted onto a team.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was
I
like,
remember that for some reason. I
yeah,
remember
it
that
was
for
like,
some reason.
really, really.
This man up
Really,
here on Survivor Series. This man,
this guy's getting a pay-per-view payday.
this man up here on Survivor Series.
So,
And I felt some kind of ways because they could have gave that to Barry Horowitz.
well, it was a babyface team. Barry was a heel at the time.
Yeah, well, I'm sure one of the monkeys could have came up from down south for that check.
Well, the Monkeys were more of that old NWA.
Yeah, they would have came up from down
Mentality.
south. They would have came up from down south for that check.
For that check. Nobody would have known who they were up north, though. But
Oh man.
but yeah, there you have it. Like I said, we'll be back at you with those Survivor Series picks. Real quick before we get out of here, first CFP rankings coming out tonight. Rod, what are your predictions? Not that the first rankings matter any, because a lot of stuff can change between now and December.
I'm gonna go Georgia, Florida State. This is where
Is this in any particular order?
yeah, I'm listening from 1 to 4.
Okay.
I think we're gonna wind up with Georgia, Florida State, Ohio State still undefeated, right?
Yep.
Ohio State and Michigan.
In that order.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna say the committee always, for the initial rankings, always seem to surprise a little bit, and they always tend to lean. They always want to try to be a little different from what the AP and the coaches polls are doing, and they tend to lean a little bit on resume on the early on the early unveil. For that reason, I think just based on resume, I think they're going to have Ohio State 1, because Ohio State has the 2 top 10 wins with Notre Dame and Penn State. Like I said, I don't think it's going to stick that way. Like I said, a lot of stuff's changing, but I think for this initial one, they might put Ohio State 1, Georgia 2, Florida State 3, and that team up north will be number 4.
Who up north? Team up north.
Provided you can find any traffic signs on your way up there.
Team up north. What's the name of that team up north? Team up north.
What's your whole take on this sign stuff?
What's going on with the signs? I missed it.
You haven't seen everything that's going on with the investigation
with Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he who shall not be. So that's what I've been kind of vaguely in and out seeing, but so that's what's been I know there was some suspensions and stuff. What happened?
Supposedly, one of their staff members over the last 3 seasons, going back to 2021. So the 2021 season, 2022 season, and then this season up until the whistle was blown, so to speak, had been attending or sending people, either or, attending himself or sending people to attend the games of upcoming opponents and getting them seats directly across from the upcoming opponent's sideline, so they could film the sideline for the signals.
Now, so you're asking me how do I feel about it?
Yeah, well, like I said, if you figure out a team's signals throughout the course of a game, that's one thing. That's part of the game. But to send somebody in advance to specifically film the sideline when that's against the rules.
So that's gonna be the difference then. If that is against the rules to do it that way, because here's the thing. See, and see, you're informing me. Me. So here's the thing. I coach, and we get film of our opponents.
Yeah.
And and on that film, I can see coaches doing hand signals, and I can hear them giving out calls, and I they have audio on it, and I use it.
Yeah.
I,
But
but
you're not positioning a camera directly across, just filming
correct.
the sideline.
And what I'm doing has not been stated as against the rules. You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
No, you're seeing it within the context of
Yes.
just normal exchanged game film.
Yes.
That this is not what's going on here. This is
Yeah.
sending somebody specifically just to
Yeah.
film the sideline and the signals.
Yep. I see it. I see it. I got you.
And um speaking as somebody whose team was stripped of victories, given a postseason ban, and who's ultimately cost their head coach his job because their players exchanged some memorabilia they earned for some tattoos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, tattoos don't give you a competitive advantage.
I don't know.
Knowing
They
the
might make
other
it.
team's
They,
signals kind of gives you a little bit of a competitive advantage.
now with the tattoos, they say if you look good, you play good. So I don't know. They may.
So I'm just saying, like, you threw the book kind of at a team over some tattoos that have nothing to do with the game.
I can dig it.
You know, um,
I can dig it. Well, now as for Michigan State, no, I'm just kidding. Hey, we'll move.
but I mean, like I said, I just think,
So what did they get? What was the suspension for the signs?
well, the only thing that they suspended the individual that was doing it with pay, with pay.
Hey, you get on out of here. You get on
While
out
the
of here.
investigation was going on, he got suspended with pay.
Hey, you
And the
get on out of here.
investigation is still going on. So what ultimately is going to be the decision, nobody knows still.
Mm.
But I will say that what I do find pretty interesting is Penn State and us figured out what they were doing last year. After our game, we figured out what was going on, and we notified TCU
Okay.
before the bowl game. We're like, listen, here's what they're doing. Just a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Be ready for it. So TCU
Blocked.
they figured out like a way to do like dummy, more or less kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, informative, we're going to show this signal, but it's really going to mean this,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of thing, and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that. And you can literally see the coaches on the sideline of that team up north during that bowl game just being completely perplexed and confused.
Yeah. Because I had the answer key,
Yeah,
but
I
then
had
they
the answer
but
key.
then
This is what's going on. You can literally see them like staring and like looking and trying to figure out what, and looking all dumbfounded.
well, what did Riley
And,
Piper
and,
say?
and they got the brakes beat off of them in that game.
What did Riley Piper say about the answers?
Yep, just when you think you got all the answers, I changed the questions.
And we're back full circle on wrestling. Look at that.
Yep.
Look at
You don't throw rocks at a man who's got a machine gun.
and I'm here to what is it? Kick ass and chew bubble gum.
Yeah, and I'm all out of bubble gum.
Yeah, that was my last piece. That was my last piece I just spit out.
So there you have it. As always, give us a like, a share, subscribe. Wherever you are, we hope you're doing well. Take care of one another, and we'll see you all when we see you.
When we see you.